Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Ankit Shukla here. I hope you're all doing well. I just wanted to talk a little bit today about staying focused when you're writing a book. Before I continue, though, I would just like to wish everyone a happy Sunday. I am on call for work. I work as a traveling nurse, so I am on call for the hospital I work at. So if I get a sudden phone call, hopefully it won't happen. I will have to end the video abruptly, but again, I don't think it'll happen, and hopefully not. So we'll be able to have a nice, calm video. Anyways, I wanted to talk about something. As I mentioned before, I'm going to be using this channel more for talking about my writing, helping others write, helpful use and useful tips on how you can write a book or just write in general. And I hope many of you will find these videos helpful. Anyways, I've been an author now since 2013. I've authored several books ever since I got picked up by my publisher, Alpine Line Publishers out of Colorado. And it's been a blessing to be able to share so many of my ideas and truly create a work of art in my own form, which are my books. And I really enjoyed doing that, and I hope to help you guys do the same. One of the things I wanted to talk about when for writing a book is staying focused. And this really became, imperative to me when I realized how imperative this is when I recently started taking on more freelance work. I've worked for about three different freelance writing companies, so working in various formats, writing different things, and I've learned a lot about the importance of staying focused when you're writing. Um, and recently, I was picked up by a freelance writing company in which we ghostwrite ebooks, which is really cool because I've been wanting to get into ghostwriting for a while, and I hope this helps stir me into that avenue, and I can continue to do a lot more ghostwriting, which I've been wanting to do. One thing is when I was writing my own books, uh, while staying focused throughout the process was very important, it was still my own work that I was doing. They were my own books, so I think I had a lot more creative leeway. So while being focused again is important because you want to get books done in a somewhat timely manner and make sure that they're good and your ideas are expressed properly and they're formatted properly. It's not as imperative, I would say, as if you're working for a company and you're doing freelance writing for them, because I think in those circumstances, your skill level is tested a lot more and you're being held to account a lot more for what you write and how you write and how well it's formatted and how well it gets showcased to them and the people that want to pick up your work. So I really wanted to talk about staying focused, and something I really learned over the past month, after being picked up by my latest freelance writing company, which again is the company I write ghostwrite ebooks for. I wrote two books for them. One was 30,000 words, the other one was 21,000. So quite a bit of writing, and it took a while because, that's a total of 50,000 words, and that's a lot of words. I mean, that's almost a novel right there that you're writing in less than a month. So it's pretty intense, and you really have to stay focused and work hard to get that done. Not only that, you have to make sure that what you're writing is good with proper grammar and spelling, and it's being formatted properly, and it's readable, and also the person that requesting the work is happy with it. So there's a lot, and it's a big responsibility, not something to take lightly, and that's really why the importance of being focused comes in. The biggest thing is you have to, when you're writing something, especially for somebody else, you really have to clear your mind and you have to stay very focused on that task at hand because you have to do the research. You have to write it in a way that makes sense and is entertaining to the reader. You have to make it understandable for them, and you also have to make sure that you have proper spelling and grammar and all of that. So it's really important to stay focused. With the advent of so much technology and just so many distractions around us, it's very easy not to stay focused. When I'm writing, I noticed, especially before I started these last few ebooks, I was keeping my phone nearby, and I was always tempted to check my email or social media or whatever various things I had on my phone, and it would distract me, and I would waste a couple of hours in a day right then and there, which I could have used to write a lot more, but I was wasting it, being on the phone and looking up unnecessary things that I did not need to at that time while I was working on my book. So as a result of that, the last couple of days before the book was due, I really had to sit down, and I was working, 12, 13 hours just writing and trying to get these books done. My wife and I took a short trip to Savannah and we're currently in Atlanta right now. And unfortunately, while I usually don't have my wife drive, I usually do all the driving. But in this sense, I had to stay up all night finishing my book. Plus, I had to do it on my Word document on the phone on the drive there in order for me to submit it on time, which is also very important. The thing is, unless your publisher gives you a specific deadline, I don't know, there may be some cases in that when you're writing your own books, usually there's not a deadline. It's whenever you want to be completed with the book, whenever it's right for you and you feel it's ready to be read by the public. That's your deadline. But when you're working for freelance companies or where you're writing for someone else, usually you have much more strict make it. And if you don't, then you need to have a good reason why, or at least you need to, let them know well in advance. Hey, I'm not going to be able to turn it in by this specific date. Can I have a couple more days? So on and so forth. And if you say, hey, I just want to make it as good as possible, I need another couple of days. They're pretty cool with it within reason. But the fact is, the fact that I couldn't stay focused like I should, and I had my phone with me, and I was distracted by so many things around me, and um, it really put a hindrance on how focused I could be while I was writing my book, which again in turn caused me to really be stressed out and really put in a lot of hours over the last couple of days right before the book was due, which could have been avoided if I would have just stayed a lot more focused beforehand and really used my time wisely. So my advice is, if you're going to write, make sure that you're doing your best to stay focused on the task at hand. Certainly, you can work on multiple projects at the same time. However, don't work on them on the exact same moments, meaning I could be working on two different books. However, I could set aside a certain number of hours a day to work on one particular book and purely be focused on that, and then spend a few other hours on that same day purely focused on another book. So that's doable. Just don't, kind of write them around at the same time. Otherwise, that can cause all sorts of confusion and things like that. You want to do your best to make sure you don't have a lot of distractions around you. If you're at your home and you have a lot of distractions, maybe there's a private space in your own home that you can go to and make sure that will give you some solitude to which you can work on your books. You may need to, find somewhere else, whether it's indoors or outdoors, a library, office space, wherever it may be, wherever you can find some solitude to stay focused on your book and where you won't have a lot of outside distractions. That's very important. If you don't need your phone or other technology with you, don't keep it with you. Sometimes when I'm writing and I will need, my phone or tablet just to help me do further research, especially for these ebooks. Um, you know, a lot of times you have to research a specific topic that you're writing about. So in that case, I'll have my phone with me or something, and I can, uh, I can do that research without having to kind of click in and out of the program that's allowing me to write. So in that case, it's important, but it's really important to do your best to make sure you don't have any outside distractions. You don't have anything near you that can distract you and keep you not focused on your task at hand, which is completing your book properly in a well formatted manner, timely, and just writing a good, thorough book that's has good grammar, is good spelling, and all of that. That's all very important in order to become a good writer and also a good freelance writer, especially when you're writing for something else, someone else. But I've really learned that over the past couple of weeks, just how important it is to use your time wisely and stay focused at the task at hand. Um, my first book, which was 30,000 words, I wrote in 2 weeks, maybe just over 2 weeks. And that's a lot to write in over 2 weeks, especially when you're working a full-time job and also have other writing projects. However, so in essence, the last 1 or 2 days that I was working on the book, that's when I did the majority of the writing. And needless to say, I spent, like I said, a good 12, 13, 14 hours each day working on these books. And that could have been avoided if I um, stayed focused and did a lot more of that research that I needed to do beforehand on a few of the days that I had off. So that way I would not be so bombarded and overwhelmed the last couple of days. Think about it, when you were writing a paper for school, oftentimes you would wait till the very end, like maybe the night before, a couple nights before, to write the majority of it. Which I understand we all always use that excuse of, oh, we were too busy, which is true. We are busy, but we also prioritize our lives. So don't ever make something that you feel is important to you less of a priority. That's just wrong. Maybe it's not that important to you in the first place, and that's a discussion for another day. Maybe you need to uh, work on changing some of your goals in life, but nonetheless, make the important stuff for you a priority in your life, and that way you don't have to use that excuse of I don't have time, because you do have time. You just have to use it properly and make time for the things that are important to you. And I've learned tremendous lessons about how to better manage my time and use it to stay focused on my writing and my ability to express my ideas and work on the projects I need to. So that's been a blessing that I've learned over the past couple of weeks, and I will continue to practice these lessons that I've learned very strongly. So main point for today, main takeaway message: when you're writing, stay focused. It's very important. Stay focused at the task at hand, so that way you can get it done in a timely manner. You're not dawdling, and you're not just letting time go by and not getting your work done like you should be. Stay focused, have fun, and continue to write. I hope you found this video informative. There will be more to come, so please continue to watch my videos. If you have any questions about anything related to this video, or maybe something I've talked about in the past or I may talk about in the future, just leave me a comment. Hopefully I'll get to your messages, and I hope you all have a great evening. Thanks again for watching my video, and I'll catch you on the next one.